Today I'm going to be giving you 8 tips to elevate and become that girl.
First time in a long time. Hurting deeply inside.
Hi babes, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea. If you're new here, I do lifestyle, beauty, fashion content. I also make content here on YouTube centered around becoming your best self. So if this sounds like your vibe, I hope you decide to subscribe and join the family. Summer is approaching, and I know that we all have goals that we want to accomplish before summer and just in 2025 in general. This is the perfect time to focus on yourself and really lock in on those goals. And one thing about becoming that girl is not about perfection. You're going to have ups and downs like I talk about in all of my videos. It's not going to be a perfect journey. For some people, they may have a smooth journey when it comes to becoming the girl that they always dreamed of being, but for others it may be a little bit of a roller coaster. That doesn't mean you shouldn't stop chasing the goal of becoming her. And what I mean by becoming her, that means that you're becoming the best version of yourself. It's not about what other people are doing. This is the time for you to focus on you and live with intention and create a life that you are truly obsessed with. And that's one thing I'm focusing on. Over the past year, I've really been honing in on just putting more attention on myself and putting more attention on what I desire out of this life and just curating a life that I literally cannot get enough of. So today I'm going to be giving you 8 powerful ways that you can level up and fully step into the best version of yourself. So let's go ahead and get into it. Being that we're about 50 or so days away from summer, it's time for us to lock in on our hygiene. And I'm not just talking about like the typical I'm just hopping in the shower and I'm hopping out. It's time for you to really lock in on your hygiene routine. So this means making sure that you're spending time in the shower for your body scrubs and things of that nature, because you want your skin to be glowing. You want even skin. I know even for myself, I have KP on my arm, so that is a goal of mine to get rid of this by summer. I've been using my KP bump eraser. I started over the past week, so I'm going to be giving you guys updates on that too in my next hygiene routine video. However, these are the things that I'm working on because by summer I want everything to be even. And this is just not for just for vanity reasons. This is just to help boost my self-confidence, and that's what I mean by really tapping into your hygiene routines, because this is for you. This is so that you can feel confident when you're going out and about. When you take care of your body, it shows the respect that you have for yourself. And one thing I can always say, people can always tell when you take care of yourself. So it's so important for you to tap into those hygiene routines and really double down on things that you want to maybe alter or maybe improve upon this summer. If it's something that you don't really like or something that can be adjusted, for example, when I was talking about my arms, I said, okay, I'm gonna start being consistent. I've tried before, but I was never consistent on my routine. So that's another thing that we have to make sure that we're maintaining is our consistency, because things are not going to change overnight. It takes consistent work. And speaking of our hygiene, even making sure that you're keeping up with your manicures and pedicures now. I'm always a DIY girly, means do it yourself, okay? And a lot of times, especially nowadays, the time that we're living in, it's so important for you to start taking advantage of the things that you can learn how to do, because you can always have those maintenances done. For example, if you're good at doing your nails, start doing them at home, especially if you're trying to save money and prepare for summer so that you can be out and about. It's time for you to start doing that now. And it also helps with your hygiene routine as well. Your nails are always going to be looking fresh. They're always going to be looking put together. I have press-ons right now. I'll have them linked for you guys below because I know I may get some questions about them. I've been a press-on girl, okay? If you've been following me on TikTok, then you would know that I've really been into my press-ons. And I just feel like it keeps you looking put together. And that's one thing that is important when you're on your level up journey, is to always stay looking put together, and it doesn't have to break the bank. Press-ons cost $6.99 from Kiss. If getting your nails done is a little bit too expensive right now, you can always dip and dab into press-ons. I am a huge advocate, okay? You can spend $7 and still get the same effect. With that being said, you just want to take the time to actually double down on those routines or things that maybe we were slacking on during the winter. Now is the time for you to really double down on that, so that by summer you can be out and popping and you'll really feel confident and good about yourself. Second tip to elevating and becoming that girl is to find your signature scent. This is so important, you guys. When you have your signature fragrance, you will be unforgettable. People will stop you, ask you, what do you have on? And you can pass that along if you choose to share. I know some people like to gatekeep their fragrances, but me, however, I like to share what I'm wearing. Especially lately, I feel like that's been my thing lately. And fragrance just makes you feel sexy. Having that signature fragrance is gonna be like your invisible accessory. That is gonna be like the topper to like an outfit. Just imagine finding your signature fragrance as some jewelry. It gives more feminine, it gives energy. When you walk into a room, people will look back, especially if you really smell good. People will ask you, what do you have on? Or they would even comment like, oh, she smells really, really good. And I feel like that is the best compliment, especially when you're doubling down on your hygiene routine, plus you smell good. That's a combo that is so important, especially for summers, which introduces today's sponsor, Max Aroma. My signature fragrance for today's video would be the House of Dawson line. This is an extended line of Tom Ford, so you know it smells good. The Five Senses is definitely one of my favorite fragrances right now, and it definitely brings out those summer notes, especially if you are a summer girly and you really do love summer fragrances. This would be one for you. One thing about me, I love to layer my fragrances, which is an important part of finding your signature scent. I would highly recommend you guys not to be afraid to layer, especially if they have similar notes. They're gonna bring out the best in each other. So the next fragrance would be Game of Joy. These are my current signature fragrances. If you guys would like me to do this on a monthly basis or a weekly basis to give you guys some inspo for your signature scent, definitely let me know in the comment section because I would love to share. And thank you so much, Max Aroma, for sponsoring today's video. And also, when it comes to layering your signature scent, it adds to your personality a little bit. And I really do love finding my signature scent. So that would be my second tip for becoming that girl. Really hone in on what it is that you like. Maybe go to different fragrance counters, especially if you are not a blind buyer, and just see what you like and play around with that. Tip number 3 will be glow from the inside out. Like I encourage you guys all the time, you have to take care of yourself on the inside and out. It's not just about looking pretty. It's not just about putting on makeup and nails and hair. It's about really honing in on your health. And I feel like health is so important, especially nowadays with the time that we're living in. You really have to make sure that you're reading your labels and making sure that you're putting the right things into your body, because that's an important piece when it comes to becoming that girl, and it's going to help you feel better. Make sure that you are taking your vitamins, okay? Especially if you haven't doubled down on that right now, start today. As soon as you watch this video, start getting those supplements now, like vitamin D, making sure that you're taking that on a daily basis, especially if you're a woman of color. A lot of us are vitamin D deficient, so you want to make sure that you start doubling down on that, taking your multivitamins, taking your magnesiums, things of that nature, so that you can feel your best, because it's not just about the outside, you guys. You have to take care of what's in here as well. And speaking of what's in here, also mental health is such an important piece. I would not be me if I did not talk about mental health, and I feel like that is an important piece as well when it comes to just becoming her, because if you don't feel good mentally, and especially if you don't feel good internally, like with the foods that you're eating and things of that sort, you won't feel like that girl. So we have to make sure that we're working on our mental health as well, and also work on your self-talk, especially if you have a hard time getting through negative self-talk. Maybe try to reprogram your mind. Maybe try listening to different things that can help you reprogram your mind. That would be so beneficial to you becoming this next and new version of you. You can't carry those old habits into this new life. When you feel good mentally and internally, it shows up in your outer world as well. You'll notice that you're experiencing different things, especially if you are radiating positive energy. And I'm not like a negative positivity girl, like, okay, if something really is going on and it's really bad for you, I'm not just gonna say, oh, say something positive and it's gonna change your perspective. No, but just change and shift how you think about things. I feel like that is an important key. And don't really sit and waddle in your feelings and emotions. I feel like that's an important key when it comes to becoming that girl. We know sometimes as women, it's easy for us to kind of like swim in that pool of, I'm really not feeling this and I'm really hurt by this. Maybe instead of swimming in those emotions, how about reposition your thoughts and also allow yourself to feel as well. I feel like that's an important key part when it comes to healing and just on your healing journey, is allow yourself to feel the feels, but just don't stay in them, because they're not going to be beneficial for you in the future. And you also have to ask yourself, like, would I care about this 5 minutes from now, 5 years from now? And if it is something really hurtful, maybe try to talk to a therapist or somebody that can help you work through your feelings as well. But the moral of this particular tip is just to take care of you, because when you take care of you, you're able to show up differently in the world. You're also able to navigate things better in your day-to-day life. And just don't really focus too much on the 3D, okay? Even if your 3D reality is looking really messed up right now and it's looking really challenging, maybe try focusing or putting your energy into other things. That will definitely help you shift and just become that girl and just curate a life that you can't get enough of, because this is your life. You don't want to look back and be like, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have looked at things differently, or even approached this particular thing differently. So make sure that you work on that as well, because that will be a very beneficial tip. Tip number 4 to becoming that girl and elevating your life, I would say will have to be elevate your style. Sometimes our style has to evolve, especially if you are reaching a certain point in life, or you're getting older, or you want to find a style that really fits you. And it doesn't even have to be if you're getting older. You could be 18 watching this. If it's something that you don't really like about your style, maybe try different things. Don't be afraid to try something new, especially if it fits your personality and who you are as a person. Step into that, okay? Have fun with your personal style. That's the whole point of style. It's supposed to fit you and your personality. And you can even go on Pinterest and find different people who may have a style that you really care for, okay, that you really like and you favor. Maybe tap into that and start maybe making you a Pinterest board of your new style. Even if you can't purchase anything right now, start with that. Get on Pinterest, find your personal style, put in like keywords if you like neutrals, neutral tone outfits, type that into Pinterest, and also curate a board that fits that. So when you're ready to purchase these items, you can kind of look at those boards and be like, hey, okay, this works, and this is what I'm looking for when it comes to my personal style. I feel like that is a very important key when it comes to just elevating and just being the woman that you've always dreamed of, is finding something that works for you. And I'm not just saying neutrals because that's something I prefer, because clearly I love neutrals. But if neutrals are not your favorite, if you're a loud, colorful girl, maybe look up different bright colors, bright color outfits and things of that sort that you can find on Pinterest to really tailor your style, especially if you are finding it hard to kind of put pieces together. Pinterest will be your best friend for that. Again, when you look put together, you show up in the world differently. You show up in different rooms differently, and people can really see that. And that will help you exude confidence too, because I don't know about you, every time I feel confident with my outfit, it exudes, okay? You can feel it when I feel good about my outfit. That's such an important piece for us as women, to make sure that we feel confident in the things that we have on, because it helps you show up differently when you're entering certain rooms. And also when it comes to your personal style, invest in basics. And that's not me saying that you have to spend like $150 on a bodysuit or anything like that, but just keep in mind those investment pieces that you have in your closet will carry on with you for a long time. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to buy some new bodysuits next week or whatever the case may be. Especially in this economy, girl, ain't nobody got time to be spending, you know, $300 on fast fashion, especially when it's not going to give you longevity. So it's so important for you to start, you know, investing in those pieces, especially if you can. Now, if you can't invest in pieces right now, definitely take the time to find some better quality pieces. It can even still be from, you know, like your Pretty Little Things or your Fashion Nova or brands like that. Try to make sure that you read the reviews, making sure that they said that they're going to last, because you don't want to just be buying stuff and just realize like, okay, at this point, I don't want anything in my closet, and now you're starting over, because that has definitely happened to me before. And I'm like, girl, you just spent all this money on these clothes, and you have nothing to show for it because now you don't like anything, you know? So you want to find pieces that are tailored to your style, but also good quality pieces that are going to last you a while. Tip number 5 to becoming that girl and elevating your life would have to be move your body. I should have put this after tip number 3 when it came to, like, you know, working on your physical and mental health. You have to make sure that you move your body, okay? Exercise is so important. Exercise is such an important key when it comes to our health. It doesn't have to be HIIT exercises. You don't have to do, you know, 150 jumping jacks every day. You don't have to do a lot in order to achieve your goals when it comes to exercise, because a lot of the time it's 80% what you eat and it's 20% exercise, okay? So that means that you don't even have to do those super intense workouts, especially if you know that they are not for you. You can do walking. Walking is so good for the body. You can walk, you know, 10,000 steps a day, and it's free to walk. You can walk outside in your neighborhood, or you can go to a park, or you can walk on the treadmill, whatever you prefer, but definitely get those steps in daily. They are definitely a game changer. Since it's warm outside again, I'm gonna be back on my 10K steps. Last year I was doing 10 to 15K steps a day, and that's what I plan to get back to, because it definitely helps with toning your body and just helps you feel your best as well. And I feel like working out for women, it just helps us tap into that feminine power again. Like, it helps you tap into that feminine energy, especially when you see progress. I want to give you guys a update on my journey as well. I have lost some weight, y'all. You may not be able to tell, but I can definitely tell. See editing Chelsea pop up some befores and afters. And if you guys want me to do like a spin-off video of like what I eat in a day, I can definitely do that as well, because coming in May, I'm going to be doubling down. I was already doubling down, but we're gonna double down on our eating habits and things of that sort, because I'm gonna be 30 soon. So I just want to make sure I'm at my best tip-top shape, and I want to feel my most confident. I want to feel the most confident that I have ever felt. And yeah, I want to take you guys along with me on that journey. So let me know if that's something that you want to see from me in the future. But I just say that to say, find different things that can inspire you when it comes to your eating habits and your working out, whether it's Pilates, whether you want to do a bar class, whether you want to do spin class, classes. It's so many different things that you can do, especially if you find yourself getting bored in the gym. Maybe do different things. Sign up for ClassPass so that you can use some points and get in those classes. Okay, so that's going to help us tap into that feminine energy and just show up as our best selves. Tip number 6 for becoming that girl and elevating your life: tap into that feminine energy. And what I mean by that is learn to speak softly and carry yourself softly but powerful. And what I mean by that is sometimes I know, especially if we are used to being the loudest in the group or the loudest in the room, depending on the setting, that can be a little bit of a bad habit. So maybe work on speaking softly and slowly. And that's something I'm also working on because I am a fast talker, and I know you guys probably have noticed that in my videos. So I'm working on speaking a lot slower and just softly. We are women, okay? We are women, and we deserve to be soft. You don't always have to be aggressive. Just because you're louder or just because you're a little bit more harsh with your tone doesn't mean that the message is still going to come across. Doesn't mean that the message will be received. And I think that's something that as women we just have to learn in general, is that just because we have a tone about something or say something in a certain way doesn't mean that that message is still going to be received. Not only are your words, but also your tone and body language is a part of your feminine aura. So you want to make sure that you are positioning yourself in a way that gives feminine energy, because one thing I'm really tapping into is moving with grace. Even if I'm misunderstood in a situation, even if that person just finds a million different ways to misinterpret what I'm saying, I still want to move with grace and eloquency, because that is such an important piece of becoming a feminine woman. Well, the thing is, when we speak aggressively or just maybe a little bit too harshly, it just takes you out of that space. It doesn't affect the other person, because they can take it however they want to take it. How you speak will always be remembered. So you want to make sure that you're always staying in your feminine. And sometimes, like I mentioned in my last, I think it was in my last video, being okay with letting things go is also an important piece when it comes to just being a woman. Okay? Don't be afraid to just say, hey, you got it. That doesn't make you like a loser. It doesn't make you weak-minded by letting things go. I feel like that just makes you even more feminine and more powerful by letting things go that don't deserve your attention and time. And it just helps you stay in your feminine aura. So that's one thing that we are focusing on this year, to just become our best selves. And if you've gotten this far, let me know what your favorite tip has been thus far. My favorite tip would have to be the perfume, because I feel like that invisible accessory is such an important piece. Let me know your favorite tip thus far and comment them down below if you made it this far. My next tip for becoming your best self and becoming her in 2025, you want to make sure that you're curating your environment. Making sure that your environment is clean, you guys. That's such an important piece. Making sure that your home is clean. That's such an important piece when it comes to elevating your frequency and showing up in your feminine. You don't want to have a messy space, especially for all my messy girls. For some of us, it is hard to keep things clean and organized. That is something that you can work on daily. Maybe start practicing, making your bed every single day if that's something that you struggle with. And if you can't do it every single day, maybe try every other day or once a week, and reward yourself when you do that. Like I mentioned in my previous video, it can kind of discourage us from getting to where we want to be, or saying like, oh, this is just too difficult. So start giving yourself like little rewards. If you know that you've been doing a good job with making your bed every single day, reward yourself. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. However, start rewarding yourself, for the things that you are doing and showing up in your life, especially when you honor those promises, because that's such a key aspect when it comes to becoming your best version of you. Start gifting yourself the things that you want. Make a list of the things that you want, and once you reach and accomplish those goals, start knocking those things off of your gift list, because that's an important piece as well. When you make your room and your life feel like a Pinterest board, you are happy. Okay, that's not to say that you're not going to have your days or where things are challenging. When you come home, you're going to feel like this is your sanctuary. I could just come into my space and I literally feel so good here. That is going to keep you moving, keep you going. And I feel like that is such an important piece when it comes to like just becoming a woman. Like when you can come home from the world and all the drama and all the extra stuff that's going on outside, when you can come inside your home and it's just nice, peaceful, you have your candles, you have your flowers, whatever it is that makes you tick or makes you go, you have that. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're starting to curate a space that you truly love. And it doesn't have to be the most lavish pieces, it doesn't have to be the most lavish bedding. Work with what you have, because I'm telling you, you have exactly what you need, especially if you're watching this video. So work with what you have and start taking care of your space, because that's going to help you produce a higher frequency. My last and final tip for today's video will have to be invest in your daily self-care ritual. Lock down on your skincare routine. Start getting that skincare together, okay, so that you can have nice glow glowy skin for the summer. Those small luxuries build a stronger relationship with yourself. When you're taking care of you, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel so much better about yourself. You're gonna feel empowered. You're gonna feel excited to do those skincare routines when you're able to build that relationship with yourself, and it's just gonna make you feel better. Like, you're gonna actually get excited about, you know, winding down for the night and you can have your tea. Those things are gonna make you feel so good about your habits and about all of the other things that we talked about in today's video. So don't be afraid to intentionally nurture yourself every single day, because I promise you, your future self will thank you. Always remember, that girl is not somebody you're seeing online. It's not somebody that you've seen on Instagram or TikTok. That girl is you. Sometimes she just needs a little bit of extra motivation to come out, okay? And you have to give her that. You have to make sure that you're treating her well, taking care of her mental health, making sure that you're taking care of her body, and that way you can really step into her. And it's all about those small daily habits. Those are small daily deposits. It's just like having a bank account. When you're making those small deposits and you're not withdrawing all the time, that bank account is going to build up. You're going to look in your account and realize, like, okay, I got some money. That is kind of what you're doing when you're becoming her and working on those things that you need to work on a daily basis. You're making those daily deposits, and you're going to be able to withdraw from that eventually. But it's about just making those daily habits and really being consistent and dedicated to the whatever that looks like. Like I always tell you guys, you don't have to have the most lavish of things, okay? I'm telling you, if you're watching this video right now, you have everything that you need to succeed. You have everything that you need to become her right where you are. So start there. Don't always try to look for things like, oh, I gotta get the newest and the latest of this. Just start with what you have and be consistent and intentional with what you have right now. And I'm telling you, you'll be able to make a big withdrawal very soon. So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 50K. If you haven't subscribed just yet, hopefully this video encourages you to do so. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you in my next